I'm really excited to be here today. My name is Anda. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Notch, a transparent digital marketing intelligence company. But before I was a CEO and an entrepreneur, I was a Romanian high school student who started her own nonprofit organization to fight the theoretical educational system in Romania. And then I was the annoying Stanford student in the stats class who would challenge every assumption to every theorem to make sure that generations of economists before me had really gotten it right. And then somewhere along the line, I was the 20-year-old who moved to Russia during the Georgian War for a year to find out the truth of what was actually happening on the ground in spite of massive pressures to leave and forget about it all. And sort of all along the line, the main common denominator is that I've always been a massive pain for someone. Why? Well, because I've always loved fighting for the truth, and I've always believed that the truth creates a better world. And so today I want to talk to you about the focus of the last 3 years of my life, finding out the truth about the actual performance of digital marketing. And I know this is something that resonates with you because I've met a bunch of you last night, but also because in the last year alone, $30 billion of media spend has been put under review, with 46% of marketers citing transparency as a main reason. But that's not enough, because reviewing is not the same as fixing, especially when it comes to a big systemic industry issue. To do my part, I decided that Notch, as a data company, will not make money from media companies and agencies. And this was a really unpopular decision because the status quo is that data companies work with and make money from all sides of the table. But let me tell you why, when I asked myself how I could best serve the truth, I couldn't go for the same strategy. If you're a marketer, you probably work with 2 or 3 agencies, and you're spreading your money across 10 to 15 distribution channels. And these could be social channels or ad platforms or publishers. When it comes time for data reporting, what happens is that the responsibility of data reporting falls on the distribution channel. They are paying for their own performance to be measured. They're paying for an analytics vendor and a research provider. The analytics happens in real time, but research doesn't. Why? Because across the board, the average response rate of an intercept survey is 0.1%. That means a couple of things. First, that digital audiences absolutely hate surveys and will not answer them, and that's especially true for my generation. The second thing is that it takes 3 to 6 months to collect and analyze the data. And the data just isn't real time. So you're left with real-time analytics and not real-time surveys, and they can't talk to each other. So basically, you as a marketer are getting all this data from the different distribution channels in different formats, and you're basically left with getting too much data from too many channels that you don't know you can trust. There's too much data, but not enough intelligence. So if that's what you're feeling, then you're not alone, and you're totally right. But the really big elephant in the room is not knowing if you can trust your data. And the main thing in this framework that's really important to point out is that the only thing that matters is who pays who, right? Because those getting paid, which are the data providers, are going to serve those paying them, which are the distribution channels, not those paying 2 levels higher, which are the marketers. So basically, distribution channels are grading their own homework. You can't blame the data providers for making those paying them look good. I've spent a long time thinking about the problems of data actionability and transparency in our space, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm not enough, and that's a hard conclusion to come to, or that my company isn't enough, and that the only players who can really change the status quo, which is so entrenched, are the CMOs and the marketers out there. What you need to do is to first understand that owning that relationship with your audience in today's digital age is all about owning that data, trusting that data, and understanding that data in real time. If you want to build that bridge with your audience, hearing their feedback is extremely important. You can't depend on a data provider that is being chosen by a distribution channel that is 2 degrees removed from you. So my call to action to all the marketers in the room today is to call your publishers, call your social networks, call your agencies, and ask them to share that data with you in real time. Or hire an independent data provider that has only one master, the CMO, and push that data provider to measure everything for you in real time so that you can benchmark all of your content efforts and so that you can trust those content efforts. Thank you.